everybody. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video. Actually, I've recorded like a dozen videos and I just never uploaded them to my laptop and edited them or anything. So they're just kind of lost in the wind. So lots of different updates I guess I could do. So work-wise, I have found an incredible job. By the end of July, I was in the ER because I fell down like 6 to 8 feet of like really big boulders in the Chesapeake Bay, and I landed straddled on a very sharp boulder, and my whole leg went numb. Both my knees were like 3 times swollen, and I couldn't walk for like almost a week. They put me on some very heavy pain meds and stuff like that, and yeah, that was not fun. So that makes twice that a fishing trip has become an ER visit for me. Apparently I'm jinxed. No fishing for me. So I hate how they're doing construction over here. So after that, say about 2 weeks into August, I lost my job over drama, basically. There were women there that like seriously like to make up lies about each other, because when I first started, this one counselor started drama with like the nurses and stuff, and I literally was witness to the bullshit. Like, it was a lie. It was all a lie, and we had so many witnesses, and everybody like wrote emails to the director and stuff like that, and was like, she's a liar. So apparently that person decided to target me too, and I got fired over some random thing that she like accused me of adding a patient on Facebook or something. I'm like, one, I don't know these people's social medias. 2, why would I want to? And 3, like, my stuff is private and on lockdown, and I don't even go by my own name on any social media, really. So that was BS, and they wouldn't even like let me prove anything. They wouldn't let me get my phone and prove that with my friends list, like to look at it. Nothing. I had no defense whatsoever. I wrote an email to corporate and got no response. They don't care. I called out a lot of other behaviors. I threw everybody else under the bus. Why not? Cause nobody stood up for me. So I'm not going to stand up for them. And I threw about 4 other people under the bus, including my manager, and the stuff that she was doing that was not appropriate, including making patients cry. Yeah, she was mean. So I was jobless for 2 months. And Robert had to struggle because they weren't getting him hours at work, and he was on commission pay, and he was just struggling in general as it was. But now it's paying for rent that I was covering, and paying for the electric that I was covering, and you know, all the house bills that I was covering. And he could barely cover his own bills as it was. So we really struggled for 2 months straight. I put in hundreds and hundreds of applications. Like, you could scroll and it would just keep going. And I was hearing nothing back until I'd say about the middle of October. I finally got like 5 different interviews all of a sudden. And some of them were hard passes. 2 of them offered me a position, and those were other clinics based on experience. And I was was like, well, give me a day or so to think about it. The offers were so, like 14 an hour, 15 an hour, average, I guess. But it was the same stuff to deal with, and I wasn't entirely 100% wanting to do that again. And then I got a phone call, and it was a recruiter for the job I'm at now. And she said, we originally looked over your resume and put you in the maybe pile because you're kind of far away. You're like 40 minutes away. But we've come back to it based on your experience and your education, and we were wondering, are you willing to make the commute? And my first answer was, I wouldn't apply to something that I didn't think I could, one, do, or two, get there. Like, I don't set myself up that way. So I got an interview with the place, and it went really okay-ish, in my opinion. I was like, I could have done better with some answers, whatever. But apparently, not but a couple hours later, I got a phone call from the recruiter again, and they were like, they were really impressed with your answers, and, you know, you seem like the perfect fit, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, really? Okay. So they sent me a job offer. Hold on, school buses. 2 school buses stopping in front of me. They sent me a job offer, 17 an hour, full-time, as a billing administrative assistant. So I do billing, and I really like my job. This is what I studied for in school. This is my experience. Like, I do office work. I like numbers. So I think it's a good fit for me. I'm still figuring out my routine. I'm still, I'm working on it, but it's been since the end of October, early November, and it's like the middle of February, so it's only been a couple months. I think I'm doing well overall. I've been complimented many times on my organizational skills. I had to create an entire filing system because there isn't one. It's a brand new kind of, they're in different locations, and they just opened that location. So empty filing cabinets, empty desks. I mean, they were still setting up offices and stuff when I got in there. So, yeah, I had to create a filing system. I had to create all of that for myself. And I think I've done pretty well with that. So, starting to catch up on bills because we fell behind. And then, beginning of January, Robert lost his job because he had too many court appearances. Apparently he missed too many days, and he wasn't making money anyway because, like I said, on commission, crap hours. He was barely pulling. I'm gonna put it this way, my income now, he barely pulled a third of it. Barely. And it was incredibly frustrating for him. His car's needs a fuel pump and stuff like that. He hit a deer, and he's missing, the front bumper's completely cracked. He's missing the grill. The hood doesn't close correctly anymore, so he hasn't been driving his car. We're all relying on this car, and this car needs 4 tires, 2 rotors. I have a cracked rim on my passenger side, which is not leaking yet. I need brakes, all 4 brakes. I need outer tie rods in the front. My CV axle may or may not need something. We'll check into that when we get everything else done. It was initially popping the speed sensor code for my check engine light, but that now has not popped on again since we cleared it. And I need a new mirror because my mirror's fallen off. Literally, over here it's masking taped together. I need inspection, like the whole 9 yards. This car is falling apart, and I don't make enough. I'm still catching up. You know, I haven't made the extra to put towards the car. So it's tax season, file my taxes, and I'm getting hopefully enough back to fix this car, because this is the only car we have right now. So yeah, pray for me on that one. And before he went to get his toolboxes from work, there's a matco guy, and they go from business to business. They're individual contractors with matco. You can have a matco account with matco, or you can have a truck account with the contractors. Well, he had both, because you need tools to work in the automotive industry. Well, he had a lot of tools that he had already paid off. He had a toolbox he had already paid off. He had a ton of stuff. This matco guy was told, anything on the truck account, take back, because I can't afford it anymore. I'm not going to do the payment plans. I can't even get into my account because you haven't even given me access. You know, just take what I got from you specifically back. Sounds simple, right? No. This guy, apparently, according to the coworker who is stationed next to him, or was next to Robert, this guy walked in with a box, took anything labeled Matco, threw it in the box, now is claiming that Robert owed him $1,000-something that he didn't owe him, and sold off stuff that Robert owned. And we have proof that he had a lot of those tools for 5 years. So we went straight to the police, filed felony theft charges, and they've been doing an investigation. We sent an email with screenshots of the guy harassing Robert through text messenger, and all the pictures of the tools, all the proof of tools paid off and tools with other accounts in the past, to Matco, so that they can deal with the contractor themselves on their end. We're going to deal with it legally on our end, and we're going to hope the guy sits in jail for a while. As far as him getting his tools back, apparently the guy sold them. So we're going to go for the monetary amount that he owes, which is, we need to figure out what he sold specifically and how much it cost. So that's what we've been doing, is contacting all the old Matco guys. Hey, do you have a copy of my account that I had with you? Can I get that, for the investigation and stuff? Because basically anything labeled Matco, the guy took. I don't think he bought anything off like Amazon or anything, but we're double checking all of it. Like, it's a very thorough investigation that we're doing on our end too. Aside from all that, oh, it smells like skunk over here. I'm so over these skunks. So December, it's been 2 years. Gavin turned 18 last January. Not this January, last year. And for 2 years, since he was 16, I had been trying to get him to learn to drive, to study for his permit test. I've been talking to him back and forth, and he's just been like, I don't want to. And trying to talk about his future, jobs, like trying to set him up for some sort of success in his life so that he can move out and live on his own and grow up, because mom can't afford 2 teenagers in the house. I'm struggling, and he sees me struggling. This is what gets me. He has seen me struggle for years trying to pay bills, trying to make ends meet, trying to buy him clothes when he outgrows his clothes, trying to keep food in the pantry, you know, on and off EBT, trying to get financial help. And I was even for almost a year on rent assistance because I couldn't find stable work. So he has seen me struggle. He has seen me get upset. He has seen me depressed over all of this. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. And I have tried everything. I have set him up with multiple interviews, really good jobs, above 15 an hour. The last job that I tried to set him up with was with my new company. They were doing a recruiting, and he even, before that weekend before, we had a Christmas parade that we were in. So we drove our company trucks down the road, lit up and waving to everybody and handing out candy to the kids. So he went with me, Robert went with me, and they both rode and waved to people even though they didn't work for the company. And I stood on the back of one of the bucket trucks and waved. And one of the guys that was on the bucket truck was like, "You should be a laborer. You know, we're like desperate. We need people, and you're like 18, and you know we can start you off at 17 an hour, just like me." I said, "That sounds amazing." I said, "What other opportunities would you get?" Now, mind you, not but a few months prior, I had taken him to the Navy recruiter's office. And I don't know if you guys remember this story, if I've even said this story on YouTube yet. But, oh, there's a dog. There's a dog. You can't eat that deer. Oh, my God, that's nasty. Blech. Little hound. Took him to the Navy recruiter's office. And he was pretending to be asleep in front of these two 20-something-year-old Navy recruiters that are explaining to him, "Dude, you could be an engineer. It's you get to travel. You go to work, you only work a few hours, whatever they need you to do, and you're home playing, or you're in your dorm or whatever, playing video games the rest of the day. It's so cool, and you don't have to be a soldier, you don't have to exercise and all. It's so cool, man, whatever. He's pretending to be asleep in front of them, barely answering their questions. I asked him direct questions, he barely answered them. And it got to a point where one of the recruiters was like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, you're just like, you have like nothing. You are nothing. And he was like, "Oh." And the recruiter was like, "Well, you can't mooch off your parents the rest of your life." He was like, his answer was, "I like being lazy." Tell me what you would do in that situation. Because in my head, I knocked his butt out. But I walked out of the recruiting office thanking the guys for their time, which they wasted on this child, this grown child, and his disrespect to everybody in that room. And I was like, you need to seriously think about it. Like, this is like, you get paid more than anybody and free education. And you walk out as an engineer of something. And they cross-train you. You can learn tons of stuff. I mean, if I were able-bodied, I would. Woulda in the past. I'm 40 now. He shrugged me off. Whatever. And then, so December, after the parade, I'd take him to the recruiting event that Monday. And he gets up early. He knows exactly why he's in there. He's going in for an interview. He even dressed somewhat nice. My boss, that's in the office next to me, walked in and apparently asked him, "So, we're hiring, and try to interview, what brings you in today? What are you interested in? What do you want to do? And Gavin's answer to him, my boss, the one that signs my paychecks, was, my mom's making me be here. My boss walks in the other room across the hallway where I'm sitting doing my work with my senior admin that came up from North Carolina to help me out. Her husband, which was a supervisor there, he doesn't work there anymore. He left a couple weeks in. And another manager. And he shut the door. And all of us are standing in this room, me with a bunch of managers. And my boss says, he's unhireable. And I want to be flat out honest with you, and I don't want you to take offense to it, but he needs mental help. Because he looks like he has zero ambition in life. He's going to go nowhere in life if he doesn't get help. He has no drive to do anything, no interest in anything. He won't answer any questions. And he's just sitting there playing on his phone. He looks like he's completely zoned out from the world. And that, to me, was a slap in the face. That, to me, I was embarrassed. I have never been embarrassed like that in my life by my own kid, publicly, to my boss and 4 other managers. I texted his dad, literally with them standing there, and I said, you come pick him up. I've had enough. I feel so insulted right now. I don't even know how to respond. But clearly, if I can't get him to drive, and I can't get him to work, and I can't get him to do schoolwork, and I can't get him to do anything like clean around the house, except like once every 2 weeks or so he'll do the dishes. The rest of the time it's piled up. I don't want him in my house. He's an adult. There's nothing more I can do. I did all I could do. And I got in headspace after that. The rest of that week, I dealt with so much depression because I was mentally beating myself up, thinking of how horrible a parent I can be to raise such a disrespectful person. And I still, to this day, don't know how to respond. That was December 5th. He never messaged me. He has not messaged me initially since. I'm picking up Robert. I hate this car.
Okay.
I'm doing a YouTube video.
Why?
I'm recording.
Why?
To update people. So we're talking about Gavin. So I just talked about how he left December 5th. And what happened. So, dealing with Robert's job loss. We've already discussed that. My new job, trying to catch up on bills. The car falling apart. One kid moved out. Me struggling in my head. And everything. I've got layers upon layers of shit going on. I don't even care if I can say shit on YouTube. I probably can. I don't care.
You can on Rumble.
That's how I talk. Hold on.
Are we going to Appomattox or are we going
Yes.
to town?
That guy's a mailman. So, mailman can put mail in and stuff. Did you let Zane know?
I haven't seen him except for one time.
Can you? I'll text him in a minute.
Yeah.
I don't remember his number off the top of my head. All this other stuff I'm dealing with. Layers upon layers of stuff I'm dealing with. I have to figure out what the heck I'm doing about his birthday at the end of the month of January. So by tradition, my mom always took me and my brother out for lunch or dinner or whatever, and that was that. What is rattling? And I was unsure about it because he's an hour and a half away now. He's living at his dad's mom's house.
It's roughly that, yeah.
He's living at his dad's mom's house, which on top of that is a whole nother concept that I feel like I was played, because that initially was what he wanted. I want to go live with grandma. I want to go work at grandma's work, making minimum wage, $12 an hour, in a school cafeteria. I want to go live in a cramped house where I have no space to myself. I don't know why that to him is a good decision. But at the time, he was not. He had just turned 18. That was the beginning of last year. And I was like, no, we can work on you getting work. We can work on you driving. And he agreed to work on that initially. The rest of the year, I feel I got played for a fool, because this is exactly what he wanted. He treated me like crap the entire year and disrespected me in public to get what he wanted, to go live at grandma's house in a cramped house where there's no space for him and work a $12 an hour job. I don't know why. And I don't know why I was the one that had to be treated like crap over it, when I tried to offer so much more. They still have not gotten him his permit or anything, by the way.
They can't even take a shower on a regular basis.
No, he showed up nasty smelling. But end of January, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So we had an event that we're doing in Midlothian the beginning of February, that first weekend. I was going to go painting with my friend Melissa, like we usually do. You guys have seen the videos of me painting. So me, Robert, and Melissa went to Midlothian. We went painting, and then we had lunch. And we went straight to, is that? Yep. We went straight to that area. I had texted them, and well, since he already had Zane over there, I was like, well, I'll just pick up Zane. You know, it'll be my process of picking up Zane. We'll do both of them for dinner. I'll drop Gavin back off. Worked schedule-wise, I suppose. Drove all the way out there, got the kids, went to Ruby Tuesdays, sat down for dinner. I went, to the bathroom.
Not even 5 seconds.
Not even 5 seconds.
Getting into the restaurant.
I was like, order me a water. I have to go to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom, and apparently Gavin dead stares Robert and goes, I heard you called me a bum. In a very rude manner. You know what? You're 18 years old, and you're mooching off of people, and you refuse to drive and get a good job, and you don't care about your education, and you don't care about nobody else's feelings, and you intentionally hurt your mother's feelings just to get whatever you want for an entire year, you're a bum. You're a jerk. And I'm sorry, that's got to be on public YouTube. So I don't care who calls anybody names right about. I've been called names my whole damn life. Do I confront anybody over it? No, because you know what? In their perception, it might be true. I might not see something that I'm doing wrong, or I'm treating somebody wrong. You know what? Maybe people should just be like, you know what? You've been really rude to me. And this is how I took this statement. I would prefer people to come to me with that. But they don't. So I just get called names. And you know what? That's cool. That's their opinion of me. That's cool. Shrug it off. Whatevs. Right? And I don't usually call people names.
No, I need to go buy sheets.
You do?
Yeah.
I thought we just went by there. I need to transfer money over from savings to checking. That UB5 bill has still not come out.
Okay.
It should have been at the beginning of the year. Or the beginning of the month. America. We do Ruby Tuesdays. We got ice cream. I dropped them off. Not a thank you. Not a that was great. Nothing. The entire conversation while at dinner and stuff, I'm getting glared at like I did something. No, I stood up for myself is what I did. It's exactly what I did with your sister, who refused to get a job and help pay and get her own self situated. I kicked her butt out too.
And for the record, I did not tell Faye about what her oldest kid did until after when we were driving home, because I have too much respect, too much love for Faye. I didn't want to go and say something that would cause it.
But had I known, I mean, he's 18 and his grandma lived down the street. I could have just left him at the restaurant and told him to tell his grandma to come pick him up and pay for his dinner.
And I had a gut feeling that this was going to happen. He was going to start to do something, because for the next 2 days, Faye just balled up and was isolating herself, crying. And I tried to warn her because I knew that this was the situation that was going to happen.
I don't know anybody that's ever treated their parent that way.
So
with a parent that was trying to help them.
I even tried to help him by getting him jobs and all that stuff.
You offered to help teach him to drive. You offered Zane.
Right, and my personal vehicle.
Like with my parents, my dad, I went to live with him after high school. I went 3 months out to my great uncle Jackie's in California. It was a trip. I went with my Nana. It was the last time I saw my Nana before she passed. It was the only time I really saw my Uncle Jackie and a cousin and another uncle out there. Because they never came to Virginia. And I never went to California before. So that was a cool trip. It was my graduation trip. You know, Nana paid for everything. That was cool. My mom bought me luggage to go on this trip. Like, she was so excited for me to go. Afterwards, I was like, I kind of just want to hang around Dad's for a while. And whatever, save up money. Figure out my driving stuff, because I had just gotten my license. I'm 18 now. So I go and live at my dad's for a little while. I'd been living at my mom's for, all through high school. Most of middle school. And I had my own little room. I got a job at Shoney's. I worked in the mornings. You know, I loved it. I was off in the evenings. I got to do whatever I wanted. I had my own car. I was driving myself around. I loved it, you know. The only thing I didn't like was I didn't know anybody around there anymore. I had grown up. Everybody I knew was from, like, elementary school. I didn't even know where they lived anymore. So I just was like, I guess I'll go back home. So I called Mom up one day and I was just like, hey, can I move back? And she was like, yeah, but there's conditions. You either get a full-time job and you clean up after yourself and stuff like that. You know, you're an adult. Be responsible as an adult, as I raised you. Or you can work part-time and go to school. So I was like, okay. So I worked part-time with her at her job in a different position, and I went to school in the afternoons. And I went to a tech school. disrespect. I don't think. I mean, the only decision I made was, hey, I want to try this out. Okay, cool. Alright, well, that didn't work, so let's try again. Something else. Okay, cool. You know, that's what I thought I was doing as a parent was, alright, that didn't work, let's try something else. Okay, that didn't work, let's try something else. But the bottom line factor was, Gavin wasn't okay, let's try something else. Gavin was, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything. And you're the problem for some reason. Like, why are you making me grow up? Why are you making me do anything? Or why is it on your terms, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, all he ever did was play video games.
And complain about it.
Complain about it.
And then he would go over there and tell his dad, oh, I'm just bored, I'm just sitting around. Well, dude, I've given you 1,000 different options and jobs to try to do. Why don't you, I don't know, do something?
He wouldn't even take care of his own pets.
No, he wouldn't. Oh, my God. The litter box would be disgusting for weeks.
For the regular, for stuff that you have to do in life, he didn't care, nor
he still doesn't.
Wanted to.
He still doesn't. But he would come back from his grandma's house and he'd be like, yeah, I feed the dogs, I do this, I do this. Well, why are you acting responsible over there and you acting lazy as crap over here? I don't understand. It's not two different styles of parenting, because I'm pretty sure your grandma's, pretty stern about stuff needing to get done too. And if she's overwhelmed too.
I mean, look at when last summer when I was working overtime and you were working. We asked him just to do simple things like there was the clean up, or hey, can you mind hitting this patch of yard I didn't get to, or clean up after with those animals.
My grass looks awful right now because nobody went back over it.
Well, I couldn't because
I couldn't either.
I was pulling 60-hour work week.
And not getting paid for 60 hours.
No.
Yeah. But we already discussed that. I already went over that. Gas prices are still pretty high.
I'll keep my comment to myself.
I probably should get gas though. But yeah, anyway. I wasted, and I'm gonna say I wasted $90 on dinner and ice cream, when I could have saved myself a lot of money and just taken Zane and Robert out.
Oh, yeah, my advice was...
That is a square body. Click block.
My advice was just send him a text or call him and tell him happy birthday, that he's not a kid anymore, and with the lack of respect he has shown to you over the year. Well, ever since I've known you.
Oh, the poor rusted thing.
But
I like a good Silverado. Sorry, I'm distracted by the big block square. Alright. I'm gonna... Alright. There's not enough space in my car. Did you ever find my registration?
No, but if you do get stopped in the state of Virginia, they can pull it up.
They can. I need a copy of it. You need to email that lady back and be like, we cannot find the registration for the car.
Okay.
And...
Well, actually what I can do is I can go and we can sign you up for Virginia DMV's website, and we can pull it off of that.
Lost my registration.
How much in gas?
Like $30.
Okay. I'll just go in there and pay.
Still not the greatest. Anyway, so that was that. And again, he's not texted me once since December 5th for any reason. I've texted him. I don't really get a response. I don't understand. I seriously don't understand. Am I the only one that, like... everybody's like, oh, well, all of my friends are like, he's an adult. Sometimes you just have to go in separate directions and like set your boundaries and don't allow the disrespect and, you know, whatever, and just focus on yourself and focus on, you know, your household. And I get that. And my mom is literally the only one that's like, well, give it time, he'll come around. And I'm like, I've given it 2 years. I've given it his whole life right now, and all I've ever gotten was attitude in return. Everything I've done, you take him on a trip or out to eat or an event or a museum or whatever, a field trip, and it's attitude in return. I didn't even want to go. Yeah, I guess it was okay. Whatever. You know, like, just ungrateful. Just ungrateful. I don't understand it. I don't understand the mentality. That's not exactly the entitled behavior of the generation. It's ungrateful. It's not entitled, it's ungrateful. Like, I'm grateful. Everybody that's ever helped me out, dude, like 1,000,000 times over, I wish I could repay you tenfold. He's gonna put my gas. You know, I never look a gift horse in the mouth. Anybody that's ever given me advice, like good advice, I've tried it. Like, I at least try it, and maybe it'll work or not. And if it doesn't, you know, start from scratch. You know, I don't know. If I'm living at somebody else's house, I clean up after myself and then some. I mean, I don't know if you guys, if I've even told you, when Michael was up here and he was living with Cliff. Yes.
Do you want me to drive so you can tell me?
No, I'm good. Okay. It's a straight shot to Appomattox. When he was living with my friend Cliff in an apartment, I paid for his half of the rent and his half of the bills. I brought food over and I cooked for them and I cleaned after them and I made sure their fridge was, you know, cleared out once a week, and, you know, we hung out and, you know, like played board games and stuff, and like I treated it as if it was my place. So I always kind of go above and beyond, because I don't want anybody to ever say that I was ever ungrateful, you know, or I didn't help, or I didn't pull my weight in any way. And when I can't pull my weight, that's when I get really depressed and upset, because, like, I want to. I know I can, I just don't have the ability, and it upsets me to no end. And I don't know how I have not been able to instill that in my kids. I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't know why I took my seatbelt off. Was there a reason I took my seatbelt off? Here we go. Look at our ugly selves.
You don't have to remind me. I have to look at this mug every day.
I do too. Another update, I suppose, would be my weight, i.e., I can't seem to stick to a diet for the life of me lately for some reason. I'm going to blame it on stress and other people.
And for me, it's because she can cook and I can cook.
You can't have two really good cooks in the same house.
Hopefully soon, once I start this new job, I'll figure out my schedule and I'll be going back to the gym.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm struggling. I'm still at the 1/3 or the 230s. I'm just sticking right there. I've not gone up. I've not gone down. It's just right there. Is that my work phone or your phone that's going off?
Try your work phone.
No, that's just news and an email, a work email. Dude, work was crazy today. Like, seriously. Am I going in this direction?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You hit the on ramp.
So,
The off ramp.
so I'm in the middle of doing like my maps and my billing stuff.
I'll let you know if you hear.
Oh, my maps and my billing stuff, and then Cordell calls or texts, and he goes, "Can you 3-hour these 811 tickets?" And I'm like, "Sure, give me a minute."
Oh, no, I'm
clear.
Yeah, you're clear.
Ain't nobody behind me. I gotta watch for the wrecker in front of me that's going too slow.
All right, you can jump too.
It's a nice flatbed though.
Nah, it's okay. They don't have an actual bottom, so you can't put a vehicle on it.
Oh.
If you can't do that, then it's useless.
But yeah, I'm doing like all these maps and stuff. I'm trying to get organized. I'm trying to get it in, my computer and everything, and sent over to her to do processing. And he messages and goes, "Can you do these 3 tickets? 3-hour them. I need them remarked right now. They weren't marked." Okay, cool. So I called them up, and I'm like, "Hey, I have 3 tickets or whatever." One of them she can't even find in the system, and the other 2, I'm good.
Virginia law, unless you're passing, you have to be in the right-hand lane.
The other 2, she could only 3-hour one of them, and she had to redo the other ticket because it had expired already. And I'm like, why are we letting these expire when, like, why can't we put in the tickets the week before we're supposed to do that road? Like, why do we have to do all of them in that area and then we're playing catch up? So I don't know. I don't understand it. But 60 or 65?
65. This is sad. I know the roads better than you do. You lived here longer than me.
I don't know, sir. I don't drive to Lynchburg.
It's 65, but you can roughly get up to 68, 69 without getting a reckless driving ticket. And I know what I just said.
So I'm calling them, and I'm like, they're like, "Well, so which utility specifically did not do their markings, so that we know to put that down as they didn't do it?" I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't told that information." So I was like, "Okay, hang on, I got my other phone. I'm gonna call him real quick," and I put him on speakerphone. I said, "Which utility specifically, so everyone can notate, did not do the markings for the road?" And he listed 2 of them, but he said most particularly it was that one. Because literally, apparently, only one guy is working there. One guy. All by himself. And he had a conversation with Cordell. He said, "Unless you 3-hour them tickets, I ain't marking nothing." He was like, "I can't. I can't get out there and do everything all by myself." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "And oh, by the way, I need you to do this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one." So I ended up with like 10 more tickets. I had to go to 3 hours so the guy could go in there and
Well, just imagine this. You had to deal with tickets. At least it's nothing like work orders I used to get. I would get a stack of work orders when I was in the mechanic industry.
It's roughly... It is. I have to keep track of what roads and connecting roads and how far it is and which direction and addresses. Yeah, it's make your head spin. But anyway, what's another update that we have? We're working on fixing the shed because
I'm working on the
he's
shed.
working on fixing the shed, which we can't do right now because we don't have anything to fix
That's why I'm trying to get her to go with me to Lowe's so we can have some ideas, but she doesn't like how I bring up the fact that I go and do all the stuff she wants to do, like watching her paint pottery and all that stuff. I do it because I love her. She needs to suck it up and go with me because this right here is...
Are you trying to rally people that are on my side to be on your side?
I mean, it's common sense.
They're not going to tell me to go to a tool store. I don't know nothing about it.
And also, too, in the past, I needed you to go to the tool store to put me on a leash so I don't spend my whole paycheck on tools.
No, you do that anyway on the tool truck.
After now, I don't do.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I explained that little story. No.
Basically, the old saying is true. If you're in the automotive industry or you know someone is, your tool truck dealer, treat them like you would your doctor or pharmacist or whatever. You find one that you like and you stick with. If they're any shady, don't walk, don't speed walk. Run like Forrest Gump did.
Far, far away.
So, and that's any mechanic industry, you know.
That
or
guy
anything.
was so shady. Like, he didn't even give you access to your account so that you could, you know, see what you were paying and what you owed and all that.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, take your shit back and I'll deal with somebody else.
And then he'll tell you it's this amount, and then actually found out that it's on sale. Then you find out it's actually full price. So, but like I said, that's anything, you know. But that's the little dark secret about that industry, and that's why you can't find technicians anymore because everyone's leaving. I
don't know why your friend's still at that other job.
Because it's right now for him it's steady. It's like me. If I still had all the right tools and everything, I would be in another shop right this very second. If it wasn't for if I had
we couldn't afford it.
My tool, you know. What happened earlier, how she explained it, that didn't happen. And she didn't ask me to find another job outside of that industry. I would be in another shop right now.
Yeah.
I've actually, I have a friend who told me if I'm ever interested in going back.
His shop pays hourly instead of commission.
Right.
His commission is not working.
Yeah, it's something I love to do. I've always wanted to do it.
But you should be paid for it.
Right.
I can't think of any other updates really going on. We're just trying to, one, play catch up, and two, get ahead right about now. We're dealing with all sorts of different things that are stressing us out, and thankfully all the court crap is over with. I didn't even go over any of the court stuff.
Yeah, well,
but
we're not going.
That's done.
I don't want to discuss anything about that right now.
What is that car behind me? It's got black tags.
It's antique tags.
Yeah.
On a Mercury.
Is that a Mercury?
Basically, it's a Crown Vic, but Mercury. I can't think of it. Marquis. Mercury Marquis.
It's a Grand Marquis, or is it
they only make a Grand Marquis. They don't make anything else.
What is that, like a mint green almost?
No.
Oh. That's what happens when you change lanes without signaling.
But one thing I know what we're going to be doing is we're going to be scraping up the money, and either this spring or summer, Faye's going to be taking me up to Williamsburg to see the reenactments and all that stuff. I missed this stuff when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, he was supposed to take some sort of like Jamestown trip or whatever.
It was Jamestown, Yorktown, and Williamsburg.
Yeah, and he never did.
And the first year I couldn't do it because they wanted $150 for the field trip.
It's ridiculous.
I grew up poor. I worked at the age of since at the age of 10, loading wood, stacking wood, loading hay, pulling tobacco, you name it. And I couldn't afford it. So the following year, some of the teachers took pity on me, and they paid for me to go. But due to other people's neglect, aka the only parental person in my life, did not set an alarm clock, didn't even bother waking me up. So I missed it. And then had the audacity, knowing that the whole entire grade was on that field trip, sent me to school. And I was like in elementary school.
That's so dumb. I remember one of my trips back in elementary school, middle school, early middle school. We went to Jamestown on like a Friday or something. And I swear, I think I slept the entire Saturday after that, because I woke up and I thought it was Saturday and it wasn't. It was Sunday. That's the only thing I really remember about that. Other than that, I remember the Clydesdales that they had out there one time.
And believe it or not, when I was a kid, when I was growing up in Maryland, I went to all the old, like the plantations that they had, the old the wildlife, anything colonial type, all the way up to Civil War stuff.
In Williamsburg, they have the boats.
Right. I think the one plantation is Sutherland Plantation. It's outside of Hollywood, Maryland, and they have an actual plantation house right on this hill. And you look down and you see the Patuxent River and all that stuff. And they had a ship out there. I know during Halloween time, in the fall around Halloween, they do night tours and all that stuff, which is something I always wanted to do. But I will remember that feeling. And what they did is every year that every class that went there, they would plant a small tree. And I would like to go one day, because they had the little placards and all that stuff for each, and try to find that tree. But this was like 20 years ago. Hey, look, a hood.
Is that an empty car?
Yeah, broke down.
So he staged. Oh, is it broke down?
Yeah.
I thought he was staging a fake pullover so that he could get other people caught speeding.
But no, that car had the hood, the front bumper, and everything, exactly what I need.
We'll take it.
It's even the same color.
I told him he hit a deer.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't have had full coverage on it, and I didn't go fast enough. I would be driving a brand new car right now.
He hit the brakes. That was the problem. The car took the impact instead of deer. Tis our area. We had a bear next to our house at like 5 in the morning. Usually the neighbor scares it away, the guy across the street with his rifle, but I guess it snuck past him, and he was next to our yard, and I went out to go to work at 5:30 in the morning, and this massive thing, I can't see him. I know he's in the trees because I can hear him sniffing the air at me. It was loud. It sounded like an elephant or something. It was.
And she tells me, when I see it a couple hours later, when I wake up, I see the message and the post on Facebook. I just decided to go and do bear memes and all that.
He did bear memes on my post. I took a video of it. He did bear memes.
And I did tell her, I said, we had honey in the cabinet. You could have put it in a pot for him. And
I don't want him in my yard.
Oh yeah, one of the games I've been playing, Far Cry 5, they have a brown bear in there who's your little ally. They name him Cheeseburger.
That's cute. I used to play a game, Dragon Age, where you could create multiple characters and you can flip between them when you're fighting. heal me, she would heal the other person that I created or somebody else. I'm like, Susie, you're a traitor, and I'd like throw her off a cliff or something, and they would automatically like reincarnate next to you. Like, did you learn your lesson, Susie? The kids thought it was hilarious. They named her.
You did stuff like that. I did stuff where it says "Do not try at home." I wanted to see if I could,
No.
and a lot of times I did.
Yeah. So we've been not really doing a whole lot, trying to get out on the weekends at least to do something. Valentine's is coming up. We just last weekend we did a My Bloody Valentine's party with our friends Rod and Missy, and basically My Bloody Valentine is a movie. It's a horror movie. It's not terrifying or anything, it's just gross.
Blood and guts.
Blood and guts. And we watched other horror movies after that. And our food theme was red, like red food. So we had like pizza with
Anything that could look like blood, that's what we had.
Yeah, we had pizza, we had red cake that she made, red candies, red drinks.
And she did not notice until after she told me that I mentioned in history, I think it was either in the 30s or 40s, around that time, Prohibition. In Chicago, there was a massacre known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which a bunch of gangsters, mob guys were killed in one night. So, kind of how ironic, without you even knowing.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So,
I just thought horror movies and Valentine's would be a good, funny thing. But this Friday, he and I are gonna do a Valentine's like dinner sort of thing, and try to beat the weekend crowd, I guess. For Zane, I wanted to do something.
get over it.
I know this guy's like slowing down. Yeah.
It's the time.
I wanted to do something. I even offered to take him to Dollar Tree. He could build his own like candy basket or whatever he wanted to pick out. This guy can't even stay in his own lane. And Zane was just like, whatever. I don't really want to do that right now. I'm good. I was like, okay. So we took him out. Where did we take him?
Hibachi.
Yeah, Hibachi. We took him out to Hibachi. There's actually a cheaper place not too far from us that we found, where it's just one guy, one grill, a tiny little hole in the wall diner thing.
Basically, you walk up to the counter, you tuck the order, and you pay for it, and he makes it right there. It's not like some of these other hibachi places where they have a grill right in front of you and all that stuff. It's not like that. It's more
Like, literally, we paid $30. We got 3 full entrees, 3 salads, drinks, 2 fountain drinks, and 3 rolls of sushi. $30. Beat that at some other sushi place, because I can't think of another one that can.
only other place I can think of is the. At one time, there was a sushi place at the mall in Roanoke that I used to go to, and it's kind of set up like that.
Yeah.
So, but the food is good. The people are nice.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
The guy, I guess he owns the place, and he's the cook, the chef. He'll have a conversation with you, and
He memorized. He has regulars that go in there, like the college kids and stuff, and he's like, "Hey, how was this?" and whatever. Yeah, he's the coolest.
And next door to it, they have a movie theater. So if you want to go and watch a movie afterwards, we haven't been there
Not yet.
yet, but they don't have anything playing really that's any interest. So
Hopefully their tickets are a little bit cheaper than going all the way out to Lynchburg.
I don't know. The one in Lynchburg, the seats are pretty comfortable.
They have a lot more options too.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But yeah. Did Zane? Oh, you said you didn't talk to him. I was about to say, did he ask for anything specific?
No.
I'll message
I know.
him.
saw him. He was making noodles and
Yeah, his ramen. Why do people just want to stop in the middle of the road today?
it's people. People can't drive around here. I mean, they can't drive around roundabouts. They can't go the speed limit.
They're
They
all
slow.
old.
They come to a complete stop at railroad tracks.
Old.
And y'all want to say Maryland drivers can't drive?
Never driven through Maryland. I
No,
never
but
said.
you have rode in the car with me in Maryland.
I've never
You
said
treat that
it.
as like the Indianapolis 500, where the speed limit is only a recommendation. You don't go and complete stop at railroad tracks.
That's dangerous.
No, that is why you have suspension components to absorb the impact.
No, it's not just that. What if their lights aren't working and the bars aren't working? Get hit by a train.
You still jump it like Dukes of Hazzard. Stop. And you can't say you don't jump cars because you did it in my car and then told me afterwards. That's okay. I'm taking her car to VIR when they have a charity event. I want to see the top speed on this car. VIR is a road course racetrack. Twice a year they do a charity event. And you do like 10, 11 laps for like $20. One year I went, it was for Ronald McDonald Charity House.
What does the back of that car say? Because if it says what I think it says,
I don't know.
did you read it?
No.
Because I could have sworn the back of it had two money bags, because it had the money symbol on either side of the word weed, and then something else written on top. And it is like one of those old police cars.
It's a Ford Crown Vic.
Yeah, and
Early 2000.
the windows
early
are blacked out, and he is speeding excessively.
What do you consider excessively?
The speed limit out here is 65. I'm doing 70, and he's still distancing from me.
No.
That's speeding.
So if we were in that other state, I'll be going 80 right now.
No. That sunlight is freaking.
I've done 95 on I-95 before, so what are you saying?
I'm saying you're not allowed to drive.
I drive everywhere, every major city, every long road. I do all the
I'm saying
driving.
this is a video confession. Y'all popos out there, he needs a ticket.
You can't, whoa. They have to catch me while committing the crime.
But you admitted it.
And all intents and says, when I say 95, I mean in Mexico. all my speeding, what some people say reckless driving, happens in Mexico.
I wouldn't admit to none of that. Okay, back. I've never been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. Well, barely. Yeah, that dude is flying. I just want to read the back of the car again, because I could have sworn that's what it says. Anyway.
So I wonder if I'm going to have
and the other one is out in Roanoke, and that's the car show.
I'd rather go to the party.
Party. Anyway, I don't know if it's gonna be a bunch of people older than us, though. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We were invited by people that were older than us. It is what it is. We're trying to open our social network. We're making a lot of friends. We're trying to get people to hang out and whatever. You know how hard it is to make friends as an adult, especially local friends. It's impossible. So we're constantly, every weekend or so, every week, we're like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Something, anything.
Yeah, we're just
hang out with us.
We're trying to make friends with people around our age or a little bit older. Not the living in a college town. We don't want to hang out with college age people.
No. We want to like have quality friends. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to be able, like our friends that I said about the Valentine's party that we did. We want to be able to call them up and be like, hey, let's throw a theme party and watch horror movies. Or what do we do? Royal Rumble. We did a pun party. All of the food items were like puns of wrestlers' names. That was cool.
Or stuff that they sponsor.
Yeah, catchphrases. And we had these friends for a couple months that we went over to their house, and dude, we brought their kids like treats and stuff, and we played card games and board games, and it was just to hang out, you know, like I don't know. So we're just trying to find more friends to just hang out, get out of the house, or go somewhere, or plan cookouts or bonfires, or you know what I'm saying, like normal adult stuff that I have not done with anybody.
You can get over this.
I've not really done any of that. 40 years old. I've never had a yard full of people. Not once. That's pretty sad. I need to know a yard full of people in order to have a yard full of people, I suppose. Those are big trailers. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Anyway, so that's the full lowdown and catch up and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I will catch you guys in another video at another time.